Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my Week 15 NFL reactions. As always, we've got a boat of stuff to cover today, but before we hop into the video, I want you guys to meet somebody very special. This is Lady. Yeah, sadly, she's not mine. She's my parents. But isn't she an absolute peach? As always, before we hop into it, don't forget to check out Waggle. Don't forget to check out G Fuel. And don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into the video. Okay, folks, so kicking off with Thursday night football. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing to the Falcons in what I would say is Kyle Pitts' greatest game of his career, and that might even go into college. I mean, first off, let's just look at Kirk Cousins really quick versus the Bucs in his career. He's thrown for 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 2 picks against them. I don't know what they did to him, but he hates them. Kirko lit up Kyle Pitts for 166 yards, 3 touchdowns. Good plays, might I add, too. The Atlanta defense got Baker to the ground 5 times. They picked him off once. But even despite all that, I would still say Baker played a reasonable game, throwing for 277, 2 touchdowns, 132 of those yards to Mike Evans. He blew up after the game about the huge conversion they let up, rightfully so. Bucky Irving didn't get to do much. Sean Tucker stole the touchdown. And shout out to the Tampa Bay defense on forcing 3 fumbles during the game. We'll talk about the Panthers in a bit, obviously, too, but right now I just want to throw out there that it doesn't look like anybody wants to win the NFC South. Okay, now we're moving on to the Ravens blowing out the Bengals 24-0. And I was watching the Bills game, obviously. From a box score perspective, what the fuck was this game? Baltimore ran, what, 30 offensive plays? Also, where did the other points come from? Was there a pick 6 or something? I don't mean to not know what's going on. Someone please fill me in. Looks like Lamar Jackson had a pretty decent game, though. 150, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I didn't see it. I don't know if it was bullshit or not. Derrick Henry had a pretty decent game, 11 for 100. Zay Flowers had a touchdown. Rasheen Ali had a touchdown. And this Ravens defense holding Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to a 0. That might be better than any accomplishment they could have gotten. Burrow threw for 225, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, terrible passer rating. Man's going through some stuff off the field. Hopefully it gets better soon, but he does not seem like he is well. Jamar still had a good game though, all things considered, 10 for 132. Jordan Battle got the pick on Lamar. And yeah, this is just really bizarre to me. I really want to know what this game looked like. Now we have more of a believable shutout here. We have the Eagles blowing out the Raiders 31-0. The Raiders put out a tweet before this game saying it was going to be a statement game. And then they proceeded to do this. I was able to catch glimpses of this one on Red Zone. Jalen Hurts looked to be very clean, 12 for 15, 3 touchdowns. Looks like Saquon had a good day, a touchdown out of 78 yards. Dallas Goedert had 6 receptions for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown had a nice touchdown I saw. It was honestly just a really nice throw. Jalen dropped it right in the basket for him. And the Philly defense obviously had a day themselves, looking like 4 sacks, a pick, and I saw something going on between Cooper DeJean and Tyler Lockett. Shit, I don't know what it was for, but Tyler Lockett just needs to sit down. The guy's scared to run after he catches a football. Don't act like you're gonna fight anybody. Looking at the Raiders now, Kenny Pickett, 64 yards. Maybe Geno, isn't as bad as we all thought. Ashton Jenney did nothing. Nobody did nothing for receiving. Brock Bowers had 6 receptions, I guess. Devin White had a productive day on defense, but this was just awful altogether. Now we have the Texans beating the Cardinals 42-20. There's some offense. I saw Nico Collins score like immediately in this game too, which is funny because that would only be the first touchdown he had out of 3 catches for 85 yards and 2 scores. Stroud was surgical, 22 for 29, 263 touchdowns. Jawar Jordan had 15 carries for 101 yards. Woody Marks, he might actually be made of glass, dude. I swear to you, he gets hurt every single game. And shout out to Fairbarn on kicking 16 points for them and getting me like 11 points in fantasy. Your boy advanced in the playoffs, and he was a huge reason as to why. Looking at the cards here, Jacoby's still slinging it. It doesn't matter if he's playing the best defense in the league. He'll throw in 3 touchdowns and 250 yards. Trey McBride dominated, 12 receptions for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael Wilson had a touchdown and 50 yards. And the Arizona defense got to CJ one time, and that solo sack came from Walter Nolan. Before I move on to the next game, though, we got to shout out Michael Wilson again, man. He's a really good receiver, I think. Even his touchdown this week, Jacoby Brissett like threw it behind his shoulder and he turned around and grabbed it with a guy right on him. That man can play. He's going to get a contract. Now we have the Chargers beating the Chiefs, knocking them out of the playoffs, and also we saw Patrick Mahomes tear his ACL. First and foremost, to anybody celebrating that, you're fucked. In terms of the Chargers on the day, I mean, this was a boring-ass game. I tried to keep up with it as much as I could. Herbert threw for 210, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Omarion Hampton appeared to have done okay, at least production-wise. Receiving was a committee by the team. Ladd held the 2 receptions for 20 yards, but the defense did at least have 5 sacks and 2 interceptions. Looking at the Chiefs here, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he wasn't playing good, and then obviously he got hurt. He struggled. Kelsey led receiving was 7 for 70, but his walk back to the tunnel kind of screamed, I'm done with this after this year, if you're asking me. However, interestingly enough, the Kansas City defense, I mean, as you can tell by the score, they did play tough the whole game. They sacked Herbert like 4 times, but sadly, this is a game where you needed your quarterback, and, well, that just wasn't possible. You had a good run, Kansas City, and sorry to hear about Pat. Now we have the Bills once again coming back in the second half, this time knocking off the New England Patriots. There's a lot of talk now of Josh Allen possibly taking over as the leader for the MVP. And right now, that's a little hard to argue. I mean, this game started off as a disaster. They had us dead to rights. They had us 6 feet under the dirt. It was 24-7 going into halftime. Drake May was running all over us, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Travion Henderson just scorched us the entire game, 14 carries for 148 and 2 touchdowns. Receiving was led by Mac Hollins, who had 4 for 41. And defensively, they were only able to get to Josh twice, which, I mean, that was absolutely the difference maker in the game. O-line did their job, and Josh was just, he wasn't going down, man. I mean, Josh Allen, he had like 30 passing yards going into halftime. Finished with 193, 3 touchdowns. James Cook had 107 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving touchdowns came from Dawson Knox, and again, James Cook here. Dawson Knox still getting 2 of the touchdowns as he becomes a new father and gets that dad strength. Also, shout out to Matt Milano. We needed him more than ever this week. We were missing Bernard. We were missing Benford. And he shows up and dominates, getting 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Trey White got a great pick, which was more so kind of just a punt pick, but still a hell of a play. Greg Russo got a sack. He's back on the board. And massive shout out to Ray Davis, who is now statistically like the best kick returner in the league. I'm just really blown away right now with how Buffalo played and how they finished this game. I mean, they really don't have quit in them. I had so many people that were telling me they're a second half team, man. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Well, I'll tell you what, I had lost hope and I was wrong. Also, to the people that are saying refs, shut the fuck up. I do agree there were some bad calls. The Keon Coleman PI call, I thought that one was really shitty, to be fair. But you guys were also getting away with shit right away. I think there were 2 catches that were ruled completions and they weren't. Also, you guys just got outplayed. You shit your pants. It's fine. You kicked our ass the first week. We traded. But most importantly, the AFC East is still open and Buffalo's division title streak is still very much alive. Now we had the Jags dropping damn near 50 points on the Jets. Poor Brady Cook, he just got eviscerated. 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Rushing appeared to have had the entire offense taking snaps at one point. Isaiah Davis leading 58 yards and a touchdown. A.D. Mitchell 58 yards and a touchdown. Also, A.D. Mitchell made a really nice gesture. When Brady Cook threw the touchdown, he grabbed it from the ref and ran and gave it to Brady, so he had his first touchdown ball. And that's about the only positives for the Jets. T-Law, 6 total touchdowns on the day. Whoever played him in fantasy, you genuinely have the worst luck of all time. What the fuck? ETN had 3 receiving touchdowns. B-Tom had a receiving touchdown. Tootin had a receiving touchdown. And despite allowing 20 points, the defense had an absolute heyday. They never allowed more than 7 1/4. That was just a beating. Now we have the Commanders beating the Giants. My picks are torched. Got to keep it a bean here. Didn't pay really any attention to this at all. I saw at the very end of the game, like the last play, that was it. Like Marcus Mariota got the job done. Only taking 2 sacks, throwing for 200, a touchdown. Bill finally had a good game again, 96 yards and a touchdown. Terry had 3 receptions for 69 and a score. And the solo sack on their defense came from none other than Von Miller. He's now at 7 sacks on the year. That's impressive. Also, shout out to Jake Moody. Good for him. As far as the Giants go, Jackson Dart had 2 touchdowns. Tyrone Tracy led the team with rushing 70 yards and a touchdown. Theo Johnson led in receiving 72 yards. Him and Dart really connect. It's kind of crazy. Receiving touchdowns went to Tracy and Wandale. Tracy had a huge day fantasy-wise. And what a fucking day by Abdul Carter. Holy shit. 5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Okay, calm down, Khalil Mack. Good win for the Commanders. Unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. It probably honestly hurt you guys more than anything. Now we have the Browns getting destroyed by the Bears. My Shedeur Sanders prediction was right there. I knew he was going to struggle. I mean, jeepers. Bad scores this week from a couple games. Holy fuck. Anyway, Shedeur, 3 interceptions, passer rating of 30. Myles Garrett had 1.5 sacks. I think he's, what, damn near at the record now? I just checked. He's 1 sack short of tying it. So it's looking like he's gonna probably break it this year. And I feel like when it comes to yesterday's game, he is literally all the Browns fans had to watch the game for. Looking at the Bears, Caleb Williams, good day. DeAndre Swift, great day. He's having a really good year. We just got to give the guy credit where it's due. Receiving was led by Luther Burden. DJ Moore had 2 receiving touchdowns. And obviously the Chicago Bears defense had an early Christmas present, getting 5 sacks and 3 picks. One again coming from CJ Gardner-Johnson. Get us the fuck out of here. Now we have the Panthers blowing it to the Saints. Like I said, nobody wants to win that division, apparently. The only play I really saw here was the kick to end it. Looks like Bryce Young did fine. Threw for 163 and a touchdown, was fairly accurate. Rico Dowdle had the rushing touchdown. Jalen Coker had the receiving touchdown, also led the team in receiving, 4 for 60. But they did get to Shuck 5 times. I mean, that's good pressure. They just apparently struggled to execute after them. Looking at the Saints here, Shuck also appeared to have a pretty clean game, 272, 1 touchdown, while taking 5 sacks. I mean, I'll give him that. Rushing touchdown came from Devin Neal. Receiving touchdown came from Olave, who also led the team. And their solo sack came from Chase Young. I'll give Chase credit too. That guy took a lot of shit, and I think the Saints have gotten a really good value out of him. Carolina, what's wrong with you? Now we have the Lions losing to the Rams. Another pick I got wrong here, and I feel bad for Jared Goff, honestly. Guy did everything he could. 338, 3 passing touchdowns. Amon-Ra, 164 yards. Jameson, 134. I mean, everything was really clicking besides the running. Jahmyr Gibbs just couldn't get off the fucking ground. And Aiden Hutchinson had a massive day, too, getting a sack and an interception, which he nearly housed it. I still don't know how he didn't. Well, I get it, but it looked to me like he was going right in there, and then he got hawked. Looking at the Rams, Stafford, 368, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 78 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum, 71 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. Receiving, Puka Nacua had 181 fucking yards. Colby Parkinson had the 2 touchdowns. I did see Puka was injured again at the end of the game. I don't know how serious it is. He's kind of a Woody Marks too, except he's actually good. And the Rams defense, to be honest, was silent, as you could tell by the score, but they had 1 solo sack by Kobe Turner, and that was it. And I just got to vent here really quick. I know I won in fantasy, I advanced, but Jahmyr Gibbs, what? I mean, for fuck's sake. Like, I'm legitimately pissed. This week wouldn't have been close if that guy could have done anything. Now we have the return of Phillip Rivers, where he almost knocked off the fucking Seahawks. 16-18 they lost. Colts had this game won too, man, and then their defense just let 2 passes off that got them right into field goal range, and they were able to kick it right down there. Phillip, all things considered, I think he did okay. I mean, I can't lie when I say the guy looks like a fucking balloon animal out there, but I give him all the credit and respect in the world, man. He's got balls. Phillip's 1 touchdown went to Josh Downs. Defense was led by Cam Bynum, Liatula 2 with the sack, and I also feel bad for Blake Groupie because he should have won the game for him at the end there. It was purely a situation of him winning the game and then his team just losing it. Looking at the Hawks now, Darnold, no touchdowns, but he threw pretty well. 271, pretty accurate. Kenneth Walker had 9 carries for 17 yards. What the fuck is going on with him? JSN had a great week, 7 for 113. Rashid Shaheed had a good week, 5 for 74. And the most shocking stat of the day, if you're asking me, is how Seattle's defense only managed to get to Phillip Rivers 1 time. Dude, his O-line was protecting him with their life. Oh, and whoever played Jason Myers in fantasy, you had a really bad week too. He scored every point for Seattle, matter of fact. Now we have the Broncos beating the Packers. Can't lie, Bo Nix looked really good, and especially at the end, man, he was dotting them up. He pretty much looked unstoppable. Harvey had a rushing touchdown. The receiving touchdowns came from Michael Bandy, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Troy Franklin, and Cortland Sutton, who led the team with 7 for 113. Defense had a handful of sacks and 2 picks, but I would like to talk about the interception of Pat Surtain here. I'm not shitting you guys. That might have been the best defensive play I have ever witnessed in my life. For him to keep up with Christian Watson all the way downfield and then dive in front of him and snag the ball, he looked like a superhero. Speaking of Christian Watson, he got hurt again. I'm not trying to be rude, but I literally just said last week, I wasn't gonna dish out my formal apology to Watson yet because we barely ever get to see the guy play. Lo and behold, he gets hurt again. Regardless, for the Packers, Josh Jacobs was the offense. He had a touchdown run, a touchdown grab. Jordan Love definitely struggled a little bit, finishing with 276, 2 picks, and a passer rating of 68. Matthew Golden actually did something for once, so I'll give him credit. And Green Bay, I have to express my sincerest condolences to you guys about Micah Parsons. Man, it's one thing to lose like your best player, but it's another thing to lose your best player that you just traded so much for. Very detrimental week of injuries, if I'm being honest. Really bad. Now we got the Titans at the 49ers. Cam Ward played decent. Tony Pollard again exploded. I apparently should have started him over fucking Jahmyr Gibbs. Receiving touchdowns went to Gunnar Helm and predictably Jeffrey Simmons. We all saw that coming. Jeffrey Simmons also had a sack and a forced fumble on the day. Holy shit, am I reading that right? Does that say Kiar Elam and he actually recovered a fumble? Holy fuck. Looking at San Fran now, Purdy was sturdy. 295 surgical accuracy, 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey had a touchdown on the ground. Ricky Pearsall, who I haven't heard of in forever, led the team in receiving. Kittle had 8 for 81 and a touchdown. Juwan Jennings had the other 2 touchdowns. And the San Francisco defense did not get a sack. They did not get a pick, yet still won the game by 13 points. And ending with Sunday Night Football, we had Nueve dominating the Dallas Cowboys. Gotta be honest, JJ looked pretty decent this game. He looked very relaxed. I still think his footwork is absolutely horrible. One of his legs like swings around him when he throws. Like, it's so weird. But just let him play, work on that in the offseason. I can really see JJ having a similar skill set to Jalen Hurts. He's just gotta work on some shit. Running was lousy, however, we did have 2 touchdowns. One of them was a fake from JJ who gritted into the end zone. Justin Jefferson stunk, which I'll talk about him in a second here. And I do owe the Vikings defense an apology because I didn't think they were gonna be able to keep up with Dallas, and they did more than that. Super quickly to run over Dallas, Dak 294, no passing touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns came from Javonte, who had a great day on the ground, and Malik Davis. CD had 6 for 111, but Pickens was held to just 33 yards. And Quinnen Williams picked off JJ immediately in the game, but it was a batted pass. Kinda by JJ too, but whatever. It's a good win for the Vikings, but unfortunately, it really doesn't fucking matter. Now, the thing about Jefferson I like to say just super quick too, is that man is going through something called imposter syndrome right now. Imposter syndrome means you do not believe in everything that you have accomplished. You don't believe in yourself. And that's exactly what's happening with him. His numbers, his production this year has been so down that he is just starting to lose his confidence. He'll be back, but he's just gotta find his fire again, man. I don't know what's going on, but he just doesn't even look like the Jefferson we were used to seeing. Hate to say it, but lately he's kind of looked like a Gabe Davis. I'm gonna get shot for that. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for my Week 15 NFL reactions. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you want to show support, please do it, because you know I appreciate it. However, in the meantime, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can all watch it on time. I hope you guys have a great Monday. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next upload.